What are the wealthy 100 millionaires, billionaires doing with their money that literally the rest of America has no idea about? Welcome to the Think Wealthy YouTube channel. My name is Ellis Hammond. This is the show to really help you make, keep, and multiply your money so you can live a life of your dreams, live the life of impact that you want. Today, this video, we really have a chart here that we're going to be talking through behind me of what the wealthy do with their money. So this actually is a source. We pulled this chart right here from the Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances, and it really is breaking down how the wealthy down here, 10 million, 100 million, and billionaires, what they do with their money compared to the 10,000, 100,000, $1 million net worth tier. So this is net worth. This is kind of what we're doing with the assets. So we're going to break down this for you today. The first thing I want to point out today, and this is something we got to realize, is that under $1 million, the biggest buckets that people put their money in is one is a primary residence. At 10,000 and 100,000, really anything under $1 million, most people hold their value in a primary residence. Where compared to a billionaire, 10 millionaires, it's so much smaller. This is why I want to go out on a limb today and say I think this right here is the biggest hindrance, it's the biggest lie in middle class and lower class America today. It is why we have been sold literally a false narrative that buying a single family home, owning your home is the path to wealth. It is clearly not the path to wealth. It is the biggest hindrance from you getting down here. This is why I truly believe renting is one of the greatest things to do until you get to this thing, for several reasons. Why? Owning a home, it is typically someone's, unless you're getting great financing, all the equity you have stored in your home, you can't invest that, right? Like you can't invest that equity. It's sitting there growing maybe at 3 to 4% when you could have that equity invested in the market or invested in a business. The other reason why I like renting is that it gets you around other wealthy people, right? So when you're renting, your network is growing. You're out, you're seeing people, you're involved. The other hindrance of owning a primary residence, it's a time and a cash suck. I mean, if you've ever owned a home, you know something's always going wrong. You gotta mow the yard, you gotta change the curtains. I mean, all of the things that your wife or husband is always complaining about, right? Like, it is the biggest time and cash suck that you literally could be taking that money or taking that time and focusing on building a business, or taking that extra cash and investing it into real estate or into other assets. The other thing is a vehicle. This is unbelievable. I mean, look at how little, this is the orange is vehicles. Most folks under, look at this, even at $100,000 to $1 million, $100,000 to $1 million, most people are spending a huge chunk in a car payment. Sell the dang car, man. Literally this year I sold my BMW. I sold my BMW, why? Because I didn't need it. It was just money that I was, by the way, I bought it used. But I sold the BMW. Why? So that I could take that monthly payment every single month and invest that back into education, into mentorship, into assets that are creating cash flow. So the first thing I want to show you, man, right here is that under $1 million, the narrative is own your home, look wealthy. And I'm not saying you don't go get the primary residence or go get the cars, because clearly once you get to 10 million, people still own primary homes. They own cars. But it's what comes afterwards. Once you have the assets, once you have the passive cash flow, that's when you go buy your dream home. But here, what this group is doing is they're focusing on growing their business interest. They're focused on growing their assets, owning real estate. The second thing I want to point out, over here on the left column is cash. And the wealthier you get, notice this, the wealthier you get, the less cash you have. So this whole narrative that you've been taught your whole life, save, literally is the worst advice you've ever been given. It's the second biggest reason that's keeping you from moving down this tier. Why? Because cash is trash. It's literally doing nothing. We've printed more than 20% of the entire money supply in the last year during COVID-19. So we're just printing money. Inflation is taking from your dollar and you're being told to save your dollar bills. While the wealthy are keeping none of it, investing into assets. And so if your whole plan is just to save more money, you're literally keeping yourself from going down this tier. And so my point is that cash is trash. You want to take that cash as fast as you can and get that into assets that is growing your dollar bill. It's protecting you from inflation, and it's producing more cash flow. And what do you do with that cash flow? You don't save it. You put that back into assets, back into business, back into stocks, back into real estate, right? So point number 2 is cash is trash. Get rid of it. Figure out what to do with it. Literally, you should be looking at a financial statement once a month, at least once a month, if not once a week, if not every day, and saying, where are we at? How much cash do we have? How do I allocate this into assets to start building more wealth? Third point I want to make, and this right here is business ownership. The path to wealth in America is to own your own business. This is the American dream. You do not get wealthy working for somebody else. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't work for somebody else and make a lot of money, but the point is, at some point you got to figure out how to work for yourself, how to have business ownership. To get to $1 billion, this is the $1 billion mark. This is the goal of anyone watching the Think Wealthy channel, is billionaire status, to at least think and live like a billionaire. And most of their stuff is in the business ownership. And so really the point that here is what I'm seeing, and what I want you to be seeing, is that, again, the poor, they're working for somebody else. They own their own house. They drive the car, even here. But as you become more wealthy, you start investing in businesses. You start owning businesses, because this is how we really start to accelerate our wealth, is really ownership into things. The other point I want to make, and you know I'm passionate about this, is real estate. So this is the real estate box, and clearly it's a pretty big holding for the 10 millionaire, the 100 millionaire, even the millionaire. And why? Because they have a lot of ownership in things like mutual funds and stocks and business ownership. And what is real estate doing? Real estate is a predictable, steady income stream that's appreciating over time. You know what it's also doing? You're using depreciation to offset the income from your mutual funds and from your stocks and from the cash that you're getting from your business, right? So these are passive streams right here. And you can use the real estate, the depreciation of the real estate, to offset the income that you're getting from the other things. And so the wealthy hold real estate. Why? We've already said the business interest and business ownership is the fastest, most accelerating path to wealth. But the real estate is what is the predictable source, and it also is what you can use to offset the other passive income in your portfolio. To do what? To keep more money in your pocket. And so the wealthy hold and own real estate. So listen, this is the Think Wealthy mindset. And I hope right here, this is an eye-opener for many of you. What changes do you need to make in order to really, again, it's not just moving up a tier or climbing the ladder. This is about living a life of impact, living a life of freedom, being able to have the ability to impact people at scale. Do not let people teach you that money is evil. Money is the vehicle that we use to really change the world. Look at Elon. What is he doing? He's trying to take people to a new planet, build a multi-planetary species. You can't do that without capital. Capital equals influence. This is the Think Wealthy mindset. Hey, if you like this video and want to see more things like that, make sure you hit subscribe, leave us a comment, and let us know what you're going to do after watching this video to really think wealthy and go to the next level. Thanks.